All right. See, I told you. Script. Now, moving on.
Well done.
We have a step in the right direction. And Emma is going to step us on in. Take it, Emma.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm very happy to introduce this one because I'm finally actually in a good mood over a story. So this is Colorado is planning to, or is ending this week's sales tax for period products and diapers and other necessities like that. So this is from Colorado Politics by Hannah Metzger from August 10th. And yeah, this is super exciting. It's a way to, they're basically framing it as a way to save people in Colorado money. They've got some other initiatives on saving money as well. It's super exciting. I'm very happy for people of Colorado because we in the UK abolished the tampon tax as it's colloquially known, last year. And since then, sanitary products have been available in a lot more places for free, which is really good for people in schools and things like that. You can find them even in, clubs and supermarkets sometimes because it's cheaper to get them. So that's really good. I'm kind of hoping that there's going to be a nice kind of social effect we might get from no longer labeling sanitary products as luxury, because not bleeding everywhere and all over your furniture is not really a luxury. I feel like, and yeah, we've had a few stories of young men suggesting that ladies just hold it in and things like that. So I'm hoping that maybe this puts a stop to that. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the reaction we had in the UK to it, a lot of the conservative kind of reaction was, oh, the government's going to lose money on the sales tax. So it's really nice to see the reporting of this happening in Colorado is about saving the people money,
Right.
rather than, because it was a very negative, oh, the sales tax makes our government so much money, what are we going to do? And
Right.
I think that it's nice to actually think about the people on the poverty line being able to afford sanitary products as like maybe a bit more of a priority. So that was kind of
Right.
my take. I'm actually happy about this one.
Nice. No, I was happy about this too, but I wanted to just like remark on the comment that you said that like some you heard from some of the other side. This telling ladies who have, or telling people who have the ability to administrate, just to hold it in. It's not pee. I just want to put that out there. It's not pee. Okay, you just can't just like
Do you know the
cross your
worst
legs and
part?
just shake it. What is the
The
worst
worst
part?
part is that arguments I've seen online over some people thinking there is not a separate place for pee and for blood. I've seen women arguing that that is not the case, who just don't know their own anatomy, and I find that, or rather assigned female at birth, and it's just so devastating. And I think a lot of it is from kind of a bit of a purity culture thing, so good to fight that a little bit here.
God, before I bring our men folk into the conversation, I just gotta say this. This is the reason why I really feel like certain like sexual education needs to be a part of the curriculum all over, because sexual education is not just about you know um, how to reproduce and what that is all about. It's also about biology and knowing how your body works. If you have sexual organs that are female, there is a possibility that you will uh, mature to a point where you are going to menstruate every month. And you need to know how to take care of that, because unfortunately, there are far too many uh, people who have the ability to menstruate, who don't know how because they hadn't gotten the proper education on how to take care of their bodies. When you are dealing with people who may be living under the poverty line, and they may not be able to afford to get their feminine napkins and their sanitary napkins every month because it's too expensive, and also even if you are on additional like assistance like SNAP benefits or link benefits, would be like like your food coupons for people who happen to live under the federal poverty line. Or is, say for instance, if you had a child and you get WIC assistance, like that's so that you can get food for your baby and things of that nature. you know uh, the feminine napkins and also diapers and things of that nature are not covered under those benefits. You're still paying out of pocket. So it's unfortunate that we are still stigmatizing um how people's bodies work, which is basically how they've been working since humans were a thing. We this and it has to be something that works in order for you to be able to even reproduce the human species, right? So I don't understand why there's this why basically it seems like in some cases like people are being punished in especially like women who are able to administrate, well, people who are able to administrate are being punished in some cases, like in the pocketbook, just so that they can go ahead and take care of the things that happen to their bodies that they have no control over. But that's just my rant. I will get down off of my soapbox now, and I will pass it off to Jim and then Kelley. Let's bring you guys into the conversation and what you think, and what are your thoughts what that happened in Colorado.
I think it's interesting that the highest state in the union is also turning out to be the most empathetic,
Mm.
finally. And they say weed's bad. I don't know. The two probably aren't even closely related. I'm just making the joke there, or trying to anyway, and failed miserably. I, I,
It's okay.
yeah, it makes no sense to me is how you could even consider taxing those. We don't tax food. We don't. There's a lot of things we don't tax because people need them and they're a necessity for living. This would be one of them. So how are we still taxing these in 2022? And I think the answer is, conservative Republicans, but uh, beat that dead horse all day long. So, but yeah, it's about time.
Indeed, indeed. Kelley, what are your thoughts?
Well, obviously, this doesn't affect me at all, but I am in total agreement that it was the right thing to do. I did a thing because I was curious. There's an estimated $4.2 billion in sales of feminine hygiene products in the USA. And in my
Mm.
state of Michigan, we charge a 6% sales tax. So I used that as my base, and that's $252 million every year just in taxes. That's a lot of money in
Wow.
sales tax for something that's a necessity that shouldn't
Yeah.
be taxed at all. So yeah, I'm behind this 100%. I even think we could go a little bit further and stop sales tax of nutrition supplements, over-the-counter medications, all hygiene products, all of them. These are things that people
All
need to get along in our society today. So, yeah, the only
right.
thing I worry about is where we're going to pick up that tax revenue at. Where are those taxes going to come from? Because they're going to come from somewhere. They're going to start taxing something else. In
Oh,
Colorado, obviously, they're taxing cannabis, but how much more can we tax that?
Well,
mm,
in Colorado, they're not losing that much money. I mean, it's not a huge part of their budget. And I think that's the thing people need to look at. You're not defunding anything at that point, right? In most cases, even in some place like California or New York, with a large population, I don't think you're talking about even 1% of a budget. So when you say, yeah, the money's got to come from somewhere, it's not a lot. the slush fund might be bigger.
Mm. Well, and
Yeah, I just figured we'll
actually,
just add 5 cents more onto a 6 pack is what I figured.
or taxing cigarettes, or like this,
Yeah.
like you said, maybe putting in a bigger tax for cannabis. But actually, they're getting pretty progressive in the highest state in the land, which also can be looks like the most empathetic. I had a backup plan, guys, to go to Canada, but I might move to Colorado. I don't know. Because like some of the things that they're actually doing is that they actually provided $25 million in property tax relief for farmers, ranchers, and properties used for renewable energy production. They're expanding their Rural Jump Start program, which provides grants and tax relief for new businesses who move into rural or economically distressed areas and hire new employees. And also, all 4 year olds will be able to attend preschool for free in the fall of 2023, saving families an average of $4,300. And they're actually also exempting most small businesses from the business personal property tax. There's a whole list, guys. If you get a chance to look at the articles that we placed in today's description, so that you can see all the different measures that the governor has signed into a law going forward in Colorado, and it's pretty exciting. I wish they do this in Illinois, because our tax, I think, is like around 10%, if I'm not mistaken, and then we also have an additional city tax on top of that. So yeah, that's I need to write my mayor anyway. Uh,
Yeah.
I I'm going to step back right now, because I'll get out back on a soapbox if you let me. Emma, save me.
Well, I like you mentioned the other taxes or the tax reductions and exemptions and things. The one of the ones that did stand out for me was the 4-year-olds attending preschool, and I thought
Yeah.
that was a really good. It's basically they do seem to be you know saving people money on the things that are necessities, like new small businesses kind of is a necessity if you don't want crazy like Amazon owning everything basically. But the 4-year-olds attending school for free, it's wild that that's not already a thing, especially because there's so much sort of, I think it's a little bit of fear mongering at the moment, but there's a lot of concern at the moment over a few people having families, and that's because just like before every recession, not to again be the doomsayer, but just like before every big economic collapse, people start having children because they can't afford it.
Mhm.
So definitely just easing that, and that plays into diapers and things again as well. Just easing that and making it affordable to just live and function as a person is something that really I feel like everywhere should be doing. It's nice to see it happening, even though it feels like it is now 2022 and we should hurry up.
Agreed. Definitely. I was really hoping that, like, this particular measures that Colorado has taken would be something that could be possibly adopted to other states, and maybe I don't know, maybe we can like actually elect people in our Congress that would could push this to be on the federal level. Do you think that'll happen, Jim?
I hope to start. Well, sales taxes aren't affected by. I mean, state
Yeah.
sales taxes aren't affected at the federal level, so it's got to be
Hmm.
a state by state thing. I don't know what at the federal level off the top of my head is being taxed in that respect, but yeah, I think we need to be careful about who's making money off of human misery, and also, let me back that up. I think part of the kindergarten thing is that pre-K is also childcare, and also the reason why the Republicans don't want it is because they're trying to defund public schools to say that it doesn't work, so that only the
Right,
rich go to school.
right.
And the poor are uneducated and therefore easier to manipulate. I don't know if that's actively in their mind, but that is the effect of what they're doing. So we need to be more empathetic. We need to understand where people are coming from and help them survive and live day to day. And even the government shouldn't be making money off of that.
Agreed.
We're
But it's
creating a
very
generation of.
interesting. Go ahead, Kelley.
I was just going to say, Jim's right. We're creating a generation of fast food workers right now because
Yeah.
we're not getting people
It,
educated to work better jobs because education has
you
gotten
you
to the
know,
point where we can't afford it anymore, and it should be free.
it should. It should. I don't. No one should be in the point where they are, trying to figure out if they should further their education or buy food for their family. That should never be a choice. And same with if I should go to a doctor or if I can't go to a doctor because I might lose my job because I don't have coverage, in order for me to be able to leave work for a day so that I can actually get checked out. I mean, like, it's really unfortunate, like all these particular decisions that we have here that should not be a thing. I don't understand why people have to go in thousands and thousands and sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt in order for them to get like a bachelor's or a master's degree. That makes no sense to me. And I don't also and you do have like other industrialized countries that actually foot the bill even for higher education for their constituents, and it's not like it's not something that we can't do, we just don't. And that actually is going to bite us in the butt as a nation because we are producing people who are more and more ignorant. I remember last week it was even mentioned about how we don't teach critical thinking in schools. We just like reproduce like a core curriculum, regurgitate it on a test, and then move on. And but are you learning anything? And are you being taught how to think? I would say no. So I think that I'm a little bit on Emma's Debbie Downer side, unfortunately, but it's really not hard for me to do because I'm a jaded person anyway. But I am at least glad that Colorado is making some progressive measures in order to make life not as arduous for the people who are living in their state. And with that particular thing said, Kelley, I'm going to give you the last word, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to our final segment.
I would like to see more things lose their sales tax. How about cleaning supplies? We all need those. It's something that's a necessity. Why are we paying taxes on that too? Um, I think this is this really is a step in the right direction to get rid of these taxes. I just like to see more of it happen.